The spinal twist that we're going to learn as part of this program is called the reclined twist pose, and we're doing it lying down on the floor. Now, I have to disclose that obviously there's a lot of spinal twists in yoga, and most of the spinal twists are done while sitting. Now, because this is a beginner course, I chose a pose, a spinal twist that is beginner friendly. And by lying down on the floor, we can isolate the twist in a much better way and not and decrease the potential of injury that occurs when we do seated twist. So for example, and this is something that we're not going to do, a very famous example of a spinal twist is this pose. Our spine is twisting. Now we're not going to do this because this is a more of an advanced version, and we're going to do the lying down version. So for that version, you will need a block. So we're going to lie down all the way on the floor. The hands are going to be stretched out into a cross or a T position, palms into the floor. And then I'm going to really bring the legs, bend the knees, bring the knees to the chest. I'm going to put the block for a second here, and twisting through the lower back, lower the knees to one side, so in this case the right side. Now you will notice that there's going to be a natural space in between the knees, and that's why we have a block. You can place the block and have, if you do have a gap and it's not a gap that can be easily closed, you can place a block in between your knees. Now as you're holding this pose, I'm doing it on the right side, my left side wants to come up and really help with the rest of my body to complete this twist. I'm countering it by having my left arm stretched out all the way down on the floor and working on really grounding this left shoulder blade into the floor. By doing this, I'm actually twisting my spine. So my lower spine is twisting to the right while my thoracic or upper body spine is twisting to the left. And that is the essence of the spinal twist. And even though it doesn't look like it's a spinal twist, trust me, when you take this twist, when you take this pose, you will really, really feel it. And this is an easy beginner way of getting into the spinal twist. And it's particularly healthy to do after you've done all of your back bend exercises, such as locust, the cobra pose, and the bridge. And it's typically something that we do towards the end of the practice, or at least after the back bends. So after you've been holding like this pose for 5-10 breaths, this pose, by the way, should not be rushed. All you need to do is either keeping the block in between your knees, or you can remove it if you want to, shifting all the way through the center and then repeating the same motion onto the other side. And as you see, my body naturally wants to curve into that left side, and I'm going to counterbalance it by placing my right arm onto the floor and really bringing the right shoulder blade all the way to the floor to really counterbalance that action. Now for some additional goodness, you can also twist your neck into the opposite direction. So if our knees are twisting to the left, our neck will twist to the right, and that's going to bring some additional twist into your neck. Holding this pose for 5-10 breaths. Eventually you will lose the block and you will have your knees nicely and comfortably sitting one on top of the other. And then when you're done with this pose, coming back through the center, once again, I always strongly recommend to hug your knees into the chest to release any tension in the lower back that you may have accumulated during this pose. So once again, remember, arms in the T position, bending the knees, connecting the knees together, maybe with the help of the block, and then twisting from the lower back very slowly and carefully, bringing the knees down to the floor. Now you may also have a block under your lower knee if that is something, if you need that, if you can't easily get your, in this case, right knee down to the floor. So experiment with the blocks. They're there to help you. And then once you have found the twist with the knees, focus on grounding through your opposite shoulder blade and bringing it to the ground. And then once that has been achieved, you can twist your neck away from your bent knees and look the other way, bringing some additional twist into your neck. And that, my friends, is the reclined twist pose. That is the spinal twist, which is the only spinal twist that we're going to learn in this program. And that concludes our exploration of back bends and spinal twists.